Hey students, Mr. Passeri here, and it is Sunday night, but you'll be seeing this on Monday night or Tuesday morning. We are going to go over the answers to your homework on the first president early on, Federalist era. That's the topic that you covered this past week. So if you have any questions about anything, email me, talk to me in Google Classroom. And without further ado, let's get down to answering some questions here. So, number one, on what date did George Washington take the oath of office as President of the United States? That, my friends, was on April 30th, 1789. Who served as Washington's vice president? That was John Adams. What are precedents? Those are traditions. Who did Washington choose to run the State Department? He chose the one and only Thomas Jefferson. Who served as the Secretary of the Treasury under George Washington? That would be Kalia's favorite person, Alexander Hamilton. Who served as the nation's first Secretary of War? That would be Henry Knox. What is the cabinet? The cabinet is the president's advisors. Name 4 precedents that were established by George Washington. He established the inaugural address, the president having 2 terms in office, creation of the cabinet, and the foreign policy of U.S. neutrality. Washington did not want the U.S. to be tied up in European treaties and all that kind of stuff. He wanted the U.S. to kind of go its own course. Define the term uniform. Standard legal system is what uniform means in this context. Who did George Washington nominate to lead the Supreme Court? John Jay. When was the Bill of Rights added to the Constitution? It was in the year 1791. What types of issues did Washington concentrate on? He was concerned mostly with foreign affairs and military matters because that was what he knew. How old was Alexander Hamilton when Washington appointed him to be the Secretary of the Treasury? He was 34, so he was, a vigorous young go-getter. Number 15. Define the term national debt. The amount of money owed by the national government. What are bonds? Bonds are paper notes promising to repay money in a certain amount of time. What are speculators? In this case, speculators are people who risk money to make a large profit. So the speculators were people that were buying up people's war bonds from the Revolutionary War, knowing that they knew, the speculators, they didn't know, they took a gamble that the government would ultimately honor those bonds. And the people who sold those bonds were either too desperate for money or didn't have faith in the new government. So they sold those bonds at a low price to people willing to grab them up. And then when the government would ultimately pay them back, the money would go to the speculator. Define the term accumulated, collected. Number 19. What compromise did Hamilton reach with the Southern leaders? He put the capital in the South in exchange for helping to pay the debts of northern states. Where was the nation's capital? Before it was in Philadelphia, New York. Why did Madison and Jefferson oppose a national bank? Because they thought it was unconstitutional and would only benefit the wealthy. Define the term unconstitutional, inconsistent with the Constitution. What's a tariff? Well, let me tell you, it's a tax on imports. And why was Hamilton in favor of national taxes? Because it would help the government pay off national debts. And that, my students, is the answers to your homework from last week. Hopefully you're all doing well. I will see you all for the Zoom kind of office hours hangouts if you're down for stopping by. If not, I will see you in the Google Classroom streams for your questions and whatnot. Hopefully you're, staying well. You get to, relax for the rest of the school year in terms of being able to get to stay at home, which is awesome, but you don't get to relax in terms of not doing work. So keep up the good work. I'm actually really, really pleased with how you guys have been doing with distance learning. So keep up the good work. Again, the only kids that don't do well are kids that literally give me nothing. They just submit a blank paper, and I can't give you anything for that. But if you put something down and it's reasonable, I will give you credit for it. And if you have any questions, let me know and we will work through it. So take care, stay safe, and until next time, I am Mr. Passeri, and I will see you online. Bye bye.